Right, so tonight I'm going for a drive into Nottingham city centre. I might pull over at some point and do a walk around the bike, explain why I chose the Husqvarna Vitpilen 125, what I like about it so far, and then maybe some things that I don't like as much, but it's going to be quite hard for me to say that really, because I don't have any experience with any other 125s really. So we'll see. Yeah, so if anyone watching knows the Nottingham area, I'm just going to head to the corner house and then back, kind of like a loop, and then I'm meeting my friend at the pub for a drink before bedtime, and then work tomorrow. I also appreciate the fact how long it's been since my first long form video. I did record another video which didn't go too well. It wasn't problematic, it was just maybe slightly problematic. I ended up on a private road by accident and onto a farmer's driveway basically, and had to try and get out without being spotted. But the main issue was when I ended up getting lost. I went on Google Maps and put my home address in, and I'm having difficulties trying to blur my phone screen out. I mean, I could just cut the video and then, restart from where I'm not on my phone or my address isn't visible, but I wanted to learn how to blur it, and I've just not had the time. I was trying to do a tracking mask shot for anyone that cares, but it's a weird thing. KFC's been done up recently and I'm not sure how I feel about it. Now, I don't like this road, mainly because the average speed camera checks. I'm always a bit antsy. I don't speed usually, but I'm a bit more, just makes me a bit on edge, just in case I am accidentally going over it too much. So it's quite easy to do when it's 30. And you do little overtakes on cars that are going way too slow. New driver though, I understand what that was like back in day. This is the weird thing for me, because I started off with a moped. I can't remember how old I was, probably 15, 16. I can't remember how old you have to be, but had that for, I think it was a year, maybe 2 years, yeah. It was a Kimco DJ50S, if I remember correctly. It was mainly red, had some like racing flag or something on the front of it, but it was fun. It was good to have at that age. I did want to progress straight away onto a 125 motorbike rather than a moped or a scooter. But I ended up just doing the car driver's license instead, and got a car, and then the motorcycle license got pushed onto the back burner. But I've been wanting to do it for quite a long time. So this year I finally took the plunge, did my CBT. I believe that was in April, maybe, or March. And then past that, no problems. Went and had a look at Judd Racing in Nottingham, just to actually go and have a look at some bikes. Where are you going? And already previously obviously looked on like Auto Trader and online and stuff, but I actually wanted to go sit on some bikes, look at them. I was gonna go to Super Bike Factory, RIP. However, ooh, what are they doing to the road? But I didn't have the time, so I went randomly on I think it was a Saturday afternoon. Oh my god! Well, that's not something I expected. It's thrown me a little bit, I shouldn't follow. There's a learning lesson. I mean, it was good job I didn't panic. And grip onto the front brake, because that would have been Jova for me. So as I give some credit to the suspension. Anyway, back on story. Went Judd Racing because I did see online that they had a Vitpilen for sale. So I actually wanted to go look at it in person. And when I got there, the only one they had said sold on it, so I was instantly disheartened. And the sales guy, Gabe, he once I'd spoken to him and sat on like a Vitpilen and stuff instead, and told him I preferred the Vitpilen, magically told me that after he'd done a check, the buyer for this Vitpilen that I wanted had fallen through, and the guy no longer wanted the bike. So I wasn't pressured into anything, and I didn't put a deposit down on it straight away or anything like that. I still had a bit more of a look around online, but the price for this bike compared to what was available online was just insane. It did ring some alarm bells. Like, why is a bike that is practically brand new, well, was brand new, but 0 miles on the dash, manufacturer date 2024, but hadn't been registered yet, so it's a 26 plate, but a 2024 model, but it was 3,400 odd, brand new. And I was looking at, you know, your Hondas, your Yamahas, and even stuff that was like 5 years old was like well over that, especially for the kind of bikes I wanted. And all of the reviews for this bike seem pretty good. The feature set, it just seemed too good to be true, and I thought, well, with it being my first bike, even if there are problems, it's something I can learn from, which luckily so far, after 1,300 miles ish, there's not been anything that has gone wrong, which you would hope for. I've tried my best to keep up with maintenance, not that there is much to do, obviously just keeping the bike clean, chain clean, making sure it's still lubed, brakes clean, things like that. I try and do it every 2 weeks normally, well that's best case. Sometimes it'll end up being once a month, but tyre pressures I try and do on a regular basis. But that's about it really for maintenance, I guess, that I've had to do, other than the initial running service. It was strange as well, because the bike did feel different after that, which I know a lot of people say, oh yeah, the bike loosens up after that, 'cause they tighten the chain and oil change and all of that, but I didn't realise how much of a difference it would make, especially with actually not having to worry about redlining it, which to be fair I never really do. I try and use the gears as much as possible, other than when I'm on dual carriageways and it's a 70, then that's when this bike doesn't do so well. But as a learner bike, or my first bike, it's probably a good thing. The first ride home was interesting from the garage. I hadn't ridden a geared bike properly. I'd only ever really had a little bit of a go when my old neighbour gave me a Kawasaki KMX to try and fix, and then we got it running. And I tried to learn some gears on that, so I knew what I should be doing. It was just trying to put that into practice. But yeah, it was it ended up raining on the day. I think when I initially pulled off, practically redlined the bike. Tried to do a gear change into second, and I just forgot that I was meant to let the clutch out. I was crapping my pants the entire time. It was very scary. I had to do a halfway stop and get some lunch at McDonald's. Every time. Let's just stop here. Oh, I can breathe. This is Nottingham city centre pretty much. Corner house, Wagamama's. Yeah. Alright, just gonna sort out. That sounds like a good bike. It's a brother! Brother. What am I doing? Oof. What are you doing, mate? Bloody taxis. Help if I was in gear first. Oh, we good. Yeah, I can't remember where I was in the story anyway. Yeah, I tried to get through the initial mileage pretty quickly, and then I started realising what's the rush. I've been to a couple bike meets. Two are pretty local well, the two of them have been the same one, which happens on a weekly basis. And I mean, quite a few people turn up. It's just I've not had the courage to actually speak to anyone yet. I'm a bit of an anxious boy when it comes to social situations with strangers. But another one, I ended up meeting some people I'd met on a, there we go, on a Instagram group chat, which is made for like Nottingham bikers, and those guys were all really nice, had some nice bikes. One of them had this quite old, I think, Honda CG. It looked immaculate, but then since then he's had loads of problems with it. But every bike meet, this Vitpilen seems to catch some eyes, which I'm quite surprised about, really. I didn't think people would be that interested in a 125, especially bikers who have bigger bikes, but I mean, fair enough, she's a looker, and I think it's the same body size as what the 401 would be anyway. It's just obviously it's got bigger displacement engine. I just wish they did the 801 in some more colours. I really do not like the yellow colour that they have. Just do not like it. It's too garish. I have seen a YouTube video that I think some guy, it's either in Italy or Spain, has one. To be fair, it didn't look as bad as I thought, but I think it's nice to look at every once in a while, but not nice necessarily to own, but it's opinion based. Someone else obviously thinks it's their dream bike or a lovely bike to own, colour wise anyway. But that's the whole point of an opinion. Everyone's got one. So I mean, the reason why I was drawn to Husqvarna anyway in the first place, because obviously there was KTM's as well. It's just that their colours are a bit garish or a bit out there. I don't mind the stealth black looking ones, but then again it's a little bit boring. Whereas, I mean, this is practically the same bike, just a different body style. It's got the same engine and dash, just a different colour scheme, I think. So they are basically the same. But I don't know, I like this, the body style. Going back to it, reminds me of the Royal Jordanian on YouTube. I grew up when I was a teen watching his daily observation videos, and I used to love his Nuda. And I mean, it's got a kind of similar style with the fork almost, and the trident. It doesn't sound anywhere near as good as his Nuda, and I have looked at exhaust options for this, but I keep coming to the same conclusion. It's a 125. What is the point? So I think I'll just I'll wait till I get a bigger bike. Oh, that guy's scrolling TikTok whilst he drives. Brilliant. I'm not sure that's standard taxi practice or not. I mean, I can understand if you're driving about all day, you're going to get bored, but watching TikToks whilst you drive is insane work. I hope the camera picked that up. Talking of bigger bikes, I'm still kind of umming and ahhing at what bike I would get. I do really like the idea of the Honda, what is it, CBR 500R? Is it the R or just the sports bike model? But I also like the idea of the e-clutch, and I've said that to a few people and they've gone, why would you do that? And I think it's because they've misunderstood what the e-clutch actually is. It's not. It doesn't make it automatic. It just gives you the option. You either use the clutch or you don't. And it's no different to having a bi-directional quick shifter, which I already have on a 125. But then the problem with that is, because it's only available on the newer model, it's more expensive. So I might just not, and just look for something that does have a quick shifter anyway, because I can, well, again, no different to this, just bigger engine. I have also been looking at the Honda NX 500. It's almost like their intro to an adventure bike. I do quite like the styling of it. I think they also do one which is, what are you doing? You're too busy on your TikTok. Absolute moron. I can't, is it an NC 500? That essentially it looks like the gas tank's here, but it's not. It's under your seat, and where the gas tank looks like it is actually like a cubby, like storage, and you can fit your whole helmet in there essentially, which for someone who commutes on a bike and goes to the shops and other places on a bike, that seems quite intriguing. What are you doing? What the fuck? Oh, being distracted. This is what happens when you're not properly paying attention. I end up pulling off in second gear. That's ridiculous. It's 30 miles per hour, I'm doing 30, and he can go like 40 odd or whatever because he doesn't have a reg plate. Like, completely illegal. Like, I lost my train of thought. Other bikes, big bikes I've been looking at. Yamaha, obviously they've got the MT range and the R range. It's just deciding which version, or which engine size, because I know everyone says it, like, oh, don't get a 500 or a 600, you'll get bored, you want a 650 at a minimum. I don't necessarily ride bikes for the going fast part. It's more the what it gives me, I guess, which a lot of other people are in agreement as well. It's the sense of calm, the sense of freedom, all of that. Initially it was like the MTO3 and the R3, but I think realistically if I was to go for one of them it would end up being MTO7 or R7. Mainly because I like the styling, especially the new MT. I don't know what it is, it looks like a transformer, like the headlight cluster. It just tingles my brain. Originally I liked the naked Honda, I can't remember it. It's the CB 600R or something like that. The names are too confusing, they need to figure out the acronyms, or I just need to get better at it, I guess. But yeah, I think I've kind of decided that if or when I do get a bigger bike, that I won't go for a naked. So it'll either be an adventure style or a sports bike style. Which I know sports bike for commuting is probably not the best option, but my commute isn't long. So then the looks factor outweighs it for me. You are right up my arse. Oof. Why are we going so slow? It's a 50. Yeah, cheers for going up my arse. Yeah, I think the naked bikes when it's windy, I've experienced that enough, even on the little 125, to kind of realise I don't like the wind. I know the wind's going to affect you on any style bike, but when it's head-on wind at 60 to 70 miles per hour on a dual carriageway, it's not fun, and I would feel more comfortable and stable, I guess, on something else. Which also leans into the fact that I think a lot of bikes I might struggle on anyway, because I'm above 6 foot, whereas I thought I would struggle on this when I was looking at reviews and stuff, but I'm pretty comfortable. I think the longest ride I've done on it without stopping was to Lady Barrett Reservoir. So from mine that was well, about an hour and a half maybe. And it wasn't that I was like really uncomfortable, it was doable, but I wouldn't like to do anything longer on it without brakes. And I think on bikes it's probably a good thing to be taking regular brakes, just keep that concentration and everything else as best you can. it does take a a fair bit of brain power compared to just sitting in a car, especially the cars that I have access to. They don't actually require a lot of manual input. So one of them's a Corolla hybrid, which if you put adaptive cruise control on and lane assist, it basically drives itself anyway. Obviously still paying attention when driving, but yeah, overall less thought goes into it. Whereas bikes, every little thing, which I'm still learning to remember every little thing that I do. I do regularly check my mirrors, but still probably not as much as I should, or for the test when you're supposed to. I think my bad one at the moment is when pulling away from junctions, I don't necessarily check my mirrors beforehand. It's more before when I come to a stop, and if I'm changing lanes, or just periodically when driving down a road just to see what's behind me. But bloody hell. No point speeding up, 'cause I'm just going to slow down or slam the brakes on. Right, where are you actually pulling in? I'm going to keep my distance. Are you going down that little side road, or are you pulling into this house? Okay, wow. I'm not sure all of that was required. Right, so what we'll do now is I'll just pull into a quiet spot in Sainsbury's car park. If it's quiet. This is quite amusing because I've got Waze on. Not that I needed it really, but they've got some new mode where you can change. Well, I think you can change the voice for quite a while on Waze. I've only just started using it again, but they've got Master Chief on. So at the moment, I've just got Master Chief yelling where to go in my ear. Oh, visor upright. So I know in the previous video or on YouTube or TikTok or whatever, I've done a walk around, but I've not really spoken much on the bike. A little bit dusty. Just need to clean. Cleaned it last week. I just think for a 125, it's such a good looking bike and looks quite big. The one thing I don't like is the exhaust. It makes it so difficult to find aftermarket ones, and aftermarket ones that aren't overly expensive, because I don't want to spend loads of money on a 125 exhaust. There's cover the plate, but yeah, it's the Vitpilen. So she does have bi-directional quick shifter, ABS front and back. I can't remember if it's lean sensitive ABS as well, but regardless, ABS, you can turn it off on the back and or on the front. It's got a Supermoto mode, but I've not messed around with that. Does have riding modes as well, so if we go into the menu, I can't remember where it is because I've got a quick setting. There we go. There's ride mode, there's street, and there's rain. It basically just tames the throttle down. Have used rain when I was first getting used to the bike and it rained. Did make me feel a bit more at ease, especially when going around corners. ABS, road, Supermoto. It's the back one it disables, front still enabled. That's it. I just couldn't remember. Quick shifter, up and down. It does also have connectivity and navigation, but I think you have to pay for like a premium subscription to get the decent navigation, and I just don't bother. I've got a quad lock, so what's the point? But yeah, that's about it. I've done 1,320 miles, currently averaging 100.8 miles per gallon. That's UK miles per gallon as well, so she's pretty efficient. I think it's a 13 litre tank or 11.5, something in between there. So it lasts quite a long time on fuel. And at the moment with fuel prices, it's for a full tank. Not that I've ever gotten the fuel that low on this bike. It can be like 16 quid if I'm using super unleaded. Also depends where you get it. The standard crap. But yeah, I like her. Enjoy riding the Vitpilen. Keep calling her. I don't know why. I just I think when I first got it on the Husqvarna app, you can name your bike, and for whatever reason, I wanted a girl's name with a V. And I decided to go for Vanessa because that was all I could think of. I thought of Violet, and I thought, well, that's weird because the bike's white. Doesn't quite fit. So Vanessa, not that I ever say that out loud to people. Yeah. This is a really awkward, tight, blind corner. So if anyone's still watching, which I don't know how long this video is going to be, thanks for watching, and leave some suggestions or things down in the comments of what you'd like me to talk about next, or if you want to see something next. You know, just anything random. Yeah, cheers.